Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's David Palmer, Leo King. I'm here with your weekly Deep Love Tarot for the week of May 28th through June the 2nd, or it's 27th, sorry, May 27th through June the 2nd, 2019. Hope everybody had a nice Memorial Day, especially those here in America. That's what we celebrate. So we had a day off. So, of course, that's why I'm not in the studio. So I'm actually here in my house doing this live, but I'm going to show up. Now, we're not going to be able to be looking at it from, I guess you could say, the standard point of like multiple, different cameras and in the studio. But we're here and we're going to have some fun real quick. I don't have the dice, but I do have a lot of different cards that I brought out today. And we're going to do 3 card spreads for people. And of course, if you never watched the show before, I'm going to cover what the love's looking like in the tarot for this week. And then for everybody in all signs, and I'm going to go through each 12 signs real quick and give you what love is looking for, like for this week. And also the other thing is I like to rap in the chat with people and have some fun while we're doing this. And if you have never really watched the show, I always like to put out a little bit of a, not a warning, but a little bit of a, mature audiences only. I do kind of, go a little crazy sometimes on here. I do drop my channeling and my bombs on people of truth. And I can sometimes definitely, especially I can get rowdy with people in the chat. I can have lots of fun in different ways, and I can say some really crazy stuff. So just putting that one out there. So I want to make sure that we're all good here as far as, are you guys hearing me okay? I want to make sure that all the microphone stuff's all good. Let's see. It says, yeah, okay. Let's manage that sound device. The microphone. Yeah, it looks like we're all good here. So we are going to get going here. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be pulling the first card from the Golden Tarot. This is like my favorite deck. So I wanted to at least have a tarot deck, but we're going to do some Oracle stuff today. I just got a new deck today. This is the Sacred Symbols for Divination and Meditation Oracle deck. This one's pretty cool with the Eye of Horus on it. And I don't know why I felt called to this deck, but Enchanted Spell Oracle. This one's pretty cool, actually. It's a medieval Hedgewick magic priestess moon deck, but it's a pretty cool deck. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do, first card is going to be just, the overall what's going on, the initiation of what is happening with your love life this week. The second card is going to be the challenge and what you can do to overcome that is going to be on the last card, but also like where it's all going to be heading after the objective is understood on the first card. So kind of a, interesting way of doing it. I'm much more of a 5-card person, but we're going to have fun with the 3-card today and we're going to see what's going on. Let's see what the energy has to do for this week. But before we do that, of course, I'm going to shuffle each deck real quick and put good energy into this and see what's going on with people in the chat. Where them goats at? What's up, Aries? I see some Aries in the house. We got some Caps in the house. Any Leos in here? Jeez. Am I the only Leo around? Man, how was everybody's weekend? Honestly, I feel like crossroads are just gnarly coming. This weekend was just like one energy to another. It was a very weird moon. It was a very moony weekend, right? Like super moony weekend. Like, welcome to the moon. We all felt the moon, Definitely. Yeah, extra strange. Some people are saying this weekend sucked. I think, what this weekend did was bring everybody down to the truth of their core of their real emotional self and got rid of a lot of ego stuff. Because it was almost like egoically, we had to get out of a lot of things that were holding us from happiness and true emotion and comfort and love. And I think that's a lot of what this Mars and Cancer's been. So I'm kind of getting a little astro there. If y'all don't know, sometimes, especially today on YouTube, it's like more people follow tarot than astrology, which blows my mind. But if you're watching me, I do more astrology than I do tarot. But tarot has been my wheelhouse actually before I was doing astrology. So, and this is a cool show. I really enjoy doing it. Of course, I love doing it at the High Vibe TV studios, but I have no problem doing it there. I'm really looking forward to pulling these cards today for people. They're going to be super cool. And I'm really looking forward to these enchanted. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Like, this one's prosperity. It's kind of cool. kind of cool. It's just kind of medievally, you know, like happiness. Kind of reminds me of my Knight Templar days, if you all know what I mean. My Lancelot days. I did read a little bit about the asteroid, but I have not looked too far into it. To be honest with you, I was dealing with a lot of personal stuff this weekend. I really did not have a lot of time, and I kind of pulled out of the media and the news, and I was just kind of like, ugh, can I get out of that for a second? All right. So for the reading for all signs this week, what do we got going on for love? First card that we got is the 8 of Wands upright. This week is definitely love for everybody, starting to fucking finally know where it's going, flying in new directions. And, you know, one thing about 8 of Wands to me is, yes, it's things moving forward finally, things going in a positive direction, but it has to have an aim, right? So it's kind of like, where is the goal going? Without a goal, you might be flying in a new direction. You might be coming into a new relationship. You might be repairing relationships. You might be stepping into something really good. I feel like all of this whole love thing right now is kind of coming to a point to where things are going to be going a lot better and a lot more positive. But where is it going? So it's going to be very important to know where things are going, but also at the same time, you've got to take a new step. That's the whole thing about the 8 of Wands. It's like you got to take a new step. If everything's flying in a new direction, and I like in this Golden Tarot that it has this bird flying with it, it's like getting the energy to move forward and getting the energy to really take things off. Now, our challenge that we're going to get for this is knowledge. You know, it's kind of interesting. It's funny. I pulled 2 cards because they're brand new. Gratitude and knowledge. Oh, so I think the challenge is, one, to see this gratitude card. We have to start to appreciate what we have instead of being like, yeah, this is going great. And then, oh, it's going so good that I forgot how good it is. Like an appreciation and having gratitude for the beauty. So if you're just like, oh yeah, this is great, without giving some sort of like, thank you, God, and appreciating the other person, you know, it's going to have some issues. It might not feel as powerful as it can go, especially because we got knowledge, which this card to me is definitely saying that, you know what? We've learned so much. We've researched a lot, but the challenge is, it's like, are we going to apply the knowledge that we've learned to these new relationship fronts this week? And I think that knowledge is like realizing what you have, like, and appreciating what you have and remembering what you have, what you've learned, so if you're in partnerships, like, you know, that you're coming to a new place with, okay, what have you learned in appreciating that knowledge? And moving forward, if it's somebody new, learn about them, learn what they appreciate. If you're not like looking at those spaces, it's just, you know, flying into kind of this random direction. You know what I mean? Can't have it that way. And this overall card, and I would call this a spiritual advice card, and where things are going to head after this, after especially that challenge, is we got luck. So number one, I think that this card is definitely saying that don't mess up your lucky stars right now. Don't mess up these great things. So great things are here. Great things are moving forward. But if you're not going to appreciate it, if you're not going to take the time to kind of even understand somebody else, understand the past, understand what you've learned, you know, this is such a lucky week. Things are moving into like where you're lucky to even be able to have this. And that's where the appreciation must be. This is one of those weeks where there's major crossroads going on in a good way. So let's appreciate it. Let's really take it. And it's random like luck of how everything's going to work out, instead of this kind of feeling, I think, lately of just like, where is this all really going? And is this all really working? And well, it's been kind of feeling unlucky. But there's definitely something about this week with love that's going to be much more lucky. So I'm super excited about that. And it's time to get into Aries. I don't know what Aries are feeling lately, but, you know, Aries time. Where's my Aries in the house? While I shuffle these decks, I always look at everybody and see what's going on in the chat room right now. And it's so hard, you know, without having the table and doing this here on my couch in my living room. I set the background to red. I don't know why, for love. I'm much more of a blue guy. You guys know. I race blue. I like blue. But I guess I'm doing red. So we got some Aries. Oh, we got Aries rising here. We got Aries ascendant. A lot of Aries ascendants. My mom is an Aries sun. Oh, that's cool. How's that one like? I think Aries moms would be pretty cool. These jewels, dude. These things like don't hit. I've been doing good, guys. I'm like almost off cigarettes right now. Like very close. All right. And just last thing here. So Aries. What do Aries seeing this week? I am just feeling, I'm going to cut this deck too. Here we go. Aries this week. Aries. 8 of Cups reversed. So there's a lot of things that you haven't let go of yet about the past. And I think for single Aries, this is saying like, you can't keep holding on to, oh, no relationship's going to come the way I want to. And this is what happened to me in the past. And this is what keeps happening emotionally. Like, this is about you going like, you know what? I got to move on a different feeling. If you're partnered, this is where you have to drop. Why do you keep doing this? Why is this always happening? You know, you just got to drop it now. Like, let's start to on a new page. You know, Aries this week, you also got to maybe drop, and this is single or in relationships, you possibly might have to even drop an old relationship that you might be still in contact with, that you still haven't let go of, even though you say, oh, we're still friends, or oh, whatever. There might be something still there. So this week, also weird things from the past that need to be cleared in a relationship. Or if you're single, an old lover coming back that still has some old karmic stuff that you thought you left, but didn't leave fully, has to be cleared. So there's a lot of clearing, but you cannot avoid it either. So it's definitely not a good week to try and avoid it, Aries, this week. Definitely not try to avoid it. Your challenge this week is the past life. How funny. Oh my gosh, it is. There is some weird past life, old partnership stuff coming up. But I also think that the challenge this week is like if you're single, it's kind of like, okay, maybe you want to do some past life work. Maybe look at your astrology chart. Definitely understand where your nodes are. Understand where your Saturn is. Understand. I mean, we can go into pretty much every aspect of astrology, but maybe this week, especially the challenge is trying to understand what are your past life patterns that are causing these relationship situations, whether you're single or in a relationship, that have been causing kind of this emotional kind of baggage that hasn't been left yet. So this is a good week to finally purge the emotions. But the challenge is, are you ready to deal with some of the past life old stuff in yourself or possibly old relationship stuff? That's going to come up really big for Aries this week. Really interesting. We got this card. I can't wait to see what we got next here. Your final card for this week. You know what's so funny? And you know I laugh. I shuffled. You guys saw. You guys got luck. So it's so funny. You guys got this one right after we pulled it. But kind of Aries way anyway. That you have so much luck when you do finally clear things. When you do kind of see where are the past life connections? What is the past life stuff that keeps reoccurring? You have ultimate luck this week by just clearing stupid old past stuff. Because that 8 of Cups reversed with the past life card is like there's so much past stuff that just needs to be cleared. Just clear it all, and then you'll get the ultimate luck finally in relationships. And really good luck is coming at the end of this week for Aries with relationships. So especially that we got the overall for all signs with that, I think Aries are in a good space. This is just a clearing week because ultimate luck is there, but you got to clear it in yourself. I feel like for Aries, I don't know why, and I'm being channeled this very highly right now. It's within yourself. It's your own past life karma. It's your own emotional baggage stuff. It's your own, haven't got over some emotional situation, haven't let go of some emotional thing yet. Just let it go. And I don't know why I keep getting somebody from the past coming back, or somebody from the past you didn't really let go of. Maybe you have a dream about somebody, past life with the pyramids and oh yeah, there's somebody from the past life stuff. Even maybe some old past life person you just randomly didn't even realize you met this life just comes to you randomly and kind of, you know, is at the grocery store and used to be your mom, and now it's your person yelling at you while you're in the middle of the checkout line, you know, causing strife. And maybe there's good luck there too. Maybe instead of, you know, Leo wants to get in on this. So I'll let Leo in. Leo likes attention. If y'all don't know, this is my cat, Leo. I have 2 cats, Pixie and Leo, and Leo is a Leo. And Leo has Mars in Cancer with Jupiter in Cancer. And he will adventure any couch. Very Mars Cancer, very Jupiter Cancer conjunct. And he's got Saturn and Scorpio like his daddy. So him and I are both Leos with Saturn and Scorpio. All right. Let's see what Taurus got. Taurus, babies. Where's all my Tauruses at? We got any Tauruses in here? Cat astrology. People always trip on me about cat astrology. Like, you know your cat's charts? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. When I went to the adoption agency, they got all that stuff. Even with Leo, they were like, it's either like August 8th, 9th, 10th. So you know what I did? Of course, I rectified the chart. He definitely has a moon in Libra. Like, you know what I mean? He's so like attached emotionally to his daddy. And when I leave, he cries and he's such a Leo with emotional, but he's such a good cat. But it's like, come on, dude, like relax. You know, I got to like teach him with his Cancer Libra stuff. Oh man, it's a whole other story. But even with Pixie, like they do all the immunizations. They like, you know, it's there. You can ask for the birthday. It's there. All right, Tauruses. You guys get the devil card. Wow. All right, Taurus. This week, I think that you are looking for a good freaking time. But how much of a good time really is there, right? Like, one thing about the devil card is there has to be some sort of boundary line because, yes, doing things that you want to feel good, that you want to feel pleasure, that you want to, and this is a kind of very sexual card, I'll be honest too. Sometimes it's like, you know, kind of kinky. But the whole thing about the devil is it's always got chains. And so, you know, sometimes whatever you're going in love, whether you're single and maybe this is you taking on a new fling, or you're in a relationship and you're trying to take the relationship to a new level, or be careful about doing anything deceptive if you're in a relationship this week, Aries. I mean, Taurus. Definitely don't do that because it's not going to end up well. Or if you're a Taurus and you've got some sort of weird affair going on, definitely this might be the week where you're going to realize it's bad for you. But I definitely feel that this week it's like whatever you're trying to do to feel good for your love life right now, you got to understand that what you buy energetically with this is going to come with, are you in divine alignment? Is it really good for you, or is it toxic? And the chains can hold you back. So you got to know what that fine line is, Taurus, this week. Big time. You don't want to be stuck. You've been stuck for almost 10 years and you just got out of all that crazy energy. So why go back? Just don't do anything stupid. Go have fun, but without stupidness, and don't connect with anybody with dark energy this week, okay? And if you're seeing dark in your partner, instead of castrating them and feeling like you're inferior, definitely don't get angry or mad. Because I think that, and this could be conflicts this week, you know, like being too, like either obsessed or even too intense. Definitely don't stay in the light this week. If it feels dark, even though it's seductive as hell, think about it twice. Even though you probably will go through it, just know that you're going to come with some repercussions at the end of that. The challenge for Tauruses this week is the protection card. Oh my gosh, I can't make this shit up. You got to protect yourself because you don't want to go down the wrong road. This week, you want to protect yourself because, especially as this being a challenge, well, you don't want to have a baby, number one, or maybe you don't want to get a fucking STD, too. You got the devil with protection as your thing. I'll go into sex on here. We are talking about deep love tarot. I ain't afraid to get all about sex on here. You know what I mean? Especially we're doing late night tonight. Like, you know, like people are writing in there, condoms, Taurus. Like, yeah, you know what? Maybe more than just condoms. You know, maybe you want to wear a bodysuit. No, I'm just saying that you do got to protect yourself. You don't want to get yourself in some weird energy that you're like, oh my God, what the hell did I just end up into? Also, I'm thinking that this, well, I'm not thinking, I'm totally getting from spirit that this is happening because the devil card is very seductive. So it almost looks too good to be true. But you enter into a situation where you're like, oh, wait, you're in a relationship? Oh, and this guy's at the house, and oh my gosh, what? Or you're in a relationship and she's here, and what the heck? What? Like, you know, like, like there's like, you gotta, like, if it just feels like there's something like, this might be too good to be true and it feels too good, like maybe actually kind of pull back for a second and be like, relationships actually feel a little bit more beautiful than like kind of like, ooh, this is kind of, You definitely want to make sure that you got protection around you, around the right people. It's funny, on this card that's got the Neptune, trident like on here. Like it's interesting. It's spiritual protection that you need to be around of divine light. And that's a challenge. So if you don't have a spiritual protection energy going on right now, I always say do it in the shower every day. I do it in the shower every day, but do it around yourself all the time too. And I'm showing everybody, I'm shuffling this, but if that luck card comes on everybody, I mean, I'm happy, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want people to think I got this thing rigged. All right. Wow. Abundance. So this is about making sure that you stay in abundance, because you could be sucked dry from somebody this week. That's what to protect yourself about. You don't want to lose your sovereign life. You don't want to lose money. You also don't want to just lose like your sovereign self. I think that this abundance, especially because it's very Egyptian, and in this one, it does have the Eye of Horus, which is interesting because it's not the same deck. But there is this part of you about like staying in creating a better world instead of going out for a quick energy to feel better in a relationship or be toxic on somebody. Or if you're dealing with some sort of toxic energy in a relationship this week and you're in a partnership, you need to remember about owning your value and kind of like putting protection around you. And I don't think that you need to become some sort of like crazy all-star, like I know better than you. It's just like, I'm protecting myself and I'm going into my spiritual abundance, and I ain't going to go play that devil game. I ain't going to go play that game. So no games this week, Taurus. I think that this can be very positive, though, for realizing that pick a relationship, or if you're single or if you're in a relationship, just focus on where the abundance of positivity and definitely deep connection with spirit. We do got the pillars here, which I think is very interesting, because especially like if you go into the original tarot deck and you go into like the High Priestess card, there is that element of the pillars, and there's this pillar of staying within a boundary line of life and a divine boundary. There are boundaries between good and evil, and I think that you have to pay attention to what those boundaries are this week. Big one. Taurus will be good though, except Tauruses are kind of like reminds me of Smashing Pumpkins a little bit, like the world is a vampire. Like, just gotta be careful out there this week, Taurus. Like, know your boundaries. Like, if you need to get your like knocker off, like, I'm not gonna promote anything, but like, there's ways to do it without like going bad. You know what I mean? Like, there's the fucking internet nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, you can watch a movie if you know what I mean, or places you can go. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to like go like bring this fully into your world if it feels funky and it doesn't feel from the light. You know what I mean? No touching, someone said. Yeah, no touching. Wear that bodysuit. Wear those condoms. Like so. Don't worry, we're getting to Scorpio. We go in a row. Aries all the way to Pisces. We're on Gemini right now. It's Gemini's turn. Where's my Geminis at? We got some Geminis. Taurus Sun just got it. All right, Gemini Rising. Yeah, I want to say that this does apply for Gemini Risings and Gemini Moons too. And you would apply it if it was your rising, as kind of like really understanding more of your identification of your life and where things are going, if you know astrology, and especially where those planets sit for that and how it's affecting you. And if it's your moon, how your emotions are going through all this stuff. All right, Geminis. We got the Ace of Wands reversed. So there's a lot of new starts trying to begin, especially with relationships or restarting relationships, but there's still some things that are unfinished, but this isn't bad. I'm just thinking that it's kind of like trying to kickstart an old motor. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's been out of gas for a while and trying to find the groove of the new energy. So there's a lot of new energy trying to come in for Geminis, whether you're single. It's almost like, ooh, there's a potential great new partner. Definitely very fiery energy and really passionate, but it's like, okay, there's a big flip and a readjustment that has to go on that might kind of pull that energy away for a second because you're having to realign. There's a lot of realignment going on with Gemini's relationships this week, but there's also like the positivity of new starts, like a fresh start, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, realizing that maybe you're not ready to fully get to where you want to go. And then that's in both. Even if you're in a relationship, there's maybe this idealization of like, it's ready to go to this new place, but it's like, whoa, I got to still do this, or I got to do that. Or I just met this person and it's like, I don't even know what they're like in the in their house. I don't even know what like their last name is yet. It's kind of like, and maybe you're not over some past thing if you're single. Maybe you're still in another relationship. You know what I mean? Like, have you thought about like, how are you going to start a new one if you haven't got over the other one? So there's good things going on here. It's just saying that there's a lot that's going on that's kind of, gnarly, that you have to kind of not clear emotionally, but just like in reality of your heart and realize, oh my gosh, I got to kickstart this and I got to get this in the right direction. So it's going to be interesting to see what these other cards do that fall after. Boundaries. Definitely, I think that this card is important because when we look at this boundaries card, this one has like a leopard on it, it's like a tiger. But it's like with boundaries, it's like, okay, knowing that you're going into try to start new energy and step into new energy, but it's got something that's fully not there is maybe about setting certain boundaries. You have to set boundaries with yourself. Be like, okay, this is new if you're single, but like, I'm just not going to give away my whole life. And if it's in a relationship and you're dealing with trying to kickstart things or go into a better place, it's kind of like, well, maybe the challenge is that we haven't set some boundaries or some rules that need to be set. So there's definitely a lot of like setting the course this week and realizing, are you ready to set that course in yourself? And are they ready to set that course in yourself, whether you're single or partnered? Like, and also if you're not seeing a relationship come through and you're single, or you're in a relationship and you're not seeing it go your way, it's like you're not kickstarting enough trying to do something new. And maybe that you're in a boundaryless situation. So it's kind of in thin air. Like you're not like dealing with it. You're not stepping into it. You're not defining what it is. You got to show up this week with that Ace of Wands. You got to show up and be like, hey, look this is where I want to go. And these boundaries, even though they're difficult. I don't understand where everything is at. I got to help define them. So the challenge is about, especially it's your birthday time, Gemini, you got to speak up and say, hey, these are what the boundaries are. This is what I need. Things will go better, especially with the rebirth card. Wow. It definitely is a rebirthing energy. It's a rebirthing if you're single, because it's like, okay, I am now going to start to trust or come from a new space. I'm going to be by having boundaries and by stepping into things. One thing about the Ace of Wands reverse is it's almost like a fear of stepping fully into a new energy. So there could be this whole thing as well for Gemini, still kind of hesitant, especially single ones. Like, oh, this looks really good, but I don't know. I'm not ready. But there is a rebirthing here. So it's like, why are you afraid? Or if you're, ready to go to a new place in a relationship, it's like you got to step forward fully into that, and you got to trust, and you got to understand the boundaries there, and you got to like actually go forward with it. It's not like, oh, it's already going to just do it itself. Like, no, like rebirthing kind of takes this rebirthing process. In this card too, which I think is kind of interesting, there's this elder, and it's interesting on the rebirth because it's from November 25th through December 23rd. Which is interesting because it's from the time in which we do see kind of the rebirthing of the sun, right? Because the sun dies on December 21st and it resurrects itself on the 25th. But what's interesting is it's at like its darkest point through this period in this time. So there's this kind of deep, old energy ending anyway in yourself if you're single and in a relationship, and physically how you deal with single situations now and in relationship situations. A lot of things coming to a rebirthing cycle right now. So that's really positive for Geminis. I think that the boundary thing is very important though, which is maybe boundaries that maybe you put up with other people that might need to be taken down, or also it's also at the same time boundaries that you need to set up with ones that maybe haven't been set up. So definitely not horrible, especially the rebirthing energy I think is going to give Geminis a lot more clear and free headspace. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the new moon, June 3rd, definitely, if you think about it, with the dark moon coming this week, I'm glad somebody just pointed that out. We got some smart cookies up in this live tonight. That's what I like about it. We got some smart cookies. Actually, you guys aren't cookies, but you know what I mean? Actually, cookies sound bomb, but I don't have any cookies right now. So we got Cancers next. What's up with the chat while I'm shuffling here? Oh, thank you. I love when people send me love. I'm sending you all love back. You're in bed with Oreos and you're about to go to sleep. Hey, you're doing it right. That's all I got to say. Like, I'm weird. I don't know why I like eating. I like eating right before I go to bed, like in bed. I'm like weird. Although I have my sheets right now in the dryer because I ate in bed a couple times this week. And I'm like, well, it's not Sunday. It's Memorial Day. So it's so weird, holidays. All right. We got Cancers now. Cancers, your card this week is Queen of Wands reversed. It's funny. I know Cancers got this. I think it was a couple weeks ago. All right, Cancer, Queen of Wands reversed. This is definitely you having to get over this victim mentality that you've lost your ability to have love. Now, this is for both single and also in relationships. It's almost like Cancers are coming into this week like, I am not happy with where love is at right now. There's something that I'm not feeling, that I'm really stepping into the way that I like to feel it. Cancers love to love, but with a lot of this energy going on, I think that you're going to have to refine that heart within yourself and that heart within, if you're single, if you don't put that self out of like that you're happy and that love is possible, well, then guess what? It ain't going to come in. So you're going to have to put that out now. This is a big test on your own sovereign ability to be a lover and to trust that love can come in. And that's in both single and relationship ones. Also, you might even get some news this week that in a relationship or single wise, maybe you get somebody who says, you know what, I'm not able to go to dinner tonight, or I'm not able to do this, or you had a prospect of somebody that you thought was going to work out and they don't work out. That doesn't mean that you aren't still the queen of amazingness. Like you're still not full of love. And this includes if you're a man too. It doesn't mean that you're a queen, but you know what I mean? Like you still got so much beautiful love there. You can't forget about that this week. Your challenge card for this week is, new cards are so hard to pick up. They like do not separate. Challenge card is relief. You don't feel like relief has been coming. And I think that's the whole thing. You're the one causing it to feel like there's no relief coming because you don't believe anymore that love is possible, or you think in your relationship it's reached a certain point. Like, oh, my love, it's only going to go to this point. No relief's ever going to come. They're not going to change. This isn't about them. This isn't about anybody else. This is about yourself and realizing that relief comes by you just like stepping back into your true heart. And if you show up that way and they don't step up that way, you cannot be afraid of like, oh God, I'm going to lose it. It's like, hey, guess what? That's just not part of you, or that's not part of you with the kind of love that you want if you're single, or if you're in a relationship. That's going to bring up new issues now where you're going to be like, actually relief is coming because now the situation's out. Now I can deal with it. I'm in a place where I'm ready to have that love. And guess what? There it is on the table. So it actually can be dealt with, even though Cancers can be terrified of those kind of situations. But the truth is that that's actually what you really want. And the last card, the spiritual advice and where things are moving towards, I'm telling you, I shuffled that thing. It was a reverse, so you know what? I will do that. Even though people always comment and give me craziness, I don't like when the same card pops up from the last thing, even when I shuffle. It's rebirth, but with intuition. So it's almost like there's this interesting point for you of realizing that you need to be really smart now and realize that your intuition's right about a rebirth that's coming and that you can't avoid it. It's the whole part of like a Queen of Wands avoids things when it's reversed because she's not in her sovereign self, especially with love and especially with, your intuition knows exactly what's going on. And that's the whole thing is relief is actually around the corner when you trust this and when you step into more, I guess you could say, your stronger true self for your heart. So Cancer is definitely a lot going on in your relationship life right now. But I think it's about not losing hope. And I think that hope is not from that hope is definitely not exterior wise. It's interior wise. It's what's been going on inside your own heart. It's thinking no relief is ever coming, whether you're in a situation or you're single. And I think that a lot of it too is that your intuition is guiding you to what you need to do now. And knowing that that's not the truth, that there is a rebirthing that is there for you, but why are you, afraid of that? So what people say in the chat, that's why Cancer trying Scorpio. Yeah, that's true. Somebody says, I'm so happy being alone. Then all the exes be like, hey, girl. And I'm just like, well, whatever it is that you're going through or you're doing, it's up for you now to realize, like, maybe, one thing too is Queen of Wands reverse is like, do you even want the love? Or do you not? Do you not want to be honored? You got to act and you got to show people that you want to be honored. You just can't do this whole like, oh God, yeah, like, no, I don't want to be honored. But why is everything going wrong? It's like, you're not being honored because you're not showing up like you're being honored. You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to drop some bombs on cancers right now. That's a typical cancer thing. Like, come on. You got this. All right. Leos. You all know I've been pulling some really bad cards for Leos, and I'm a Leo myself. So I'm not going to put any like, oh, I hope for the best or whatever. I'm just going to like just be loose for Leos this week because as a Leo, I was like, oh man, and I'm a Leo rising too. So I'm kind of stuck in this double Leo world. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, well, the last couple of weeks have been, I think, very difficult on Leos from what I've been pulling and from the astrology as well. So let's see what Leo's pulled up for this week. 4 Swords, a bride. So relax. The more you relax, you're going to realize everything comes much better, Leo. This is also a card that is telling you that, and I learned this from Jax Atlantis, who's actually on highvibe.tv. He's an amazing tarot reader. He does daily tarot. He does weekly intuitive reports. He's got his own part in our school, the Lightworker School, the High Vibe School. He always said that this card originally came about because before battle and even after battle, soldiers would go into the coffin in which they would basically go into. So one, you would know like, okay, if I die, this is where I'm going to go. And then if you got back from battle, you would go rest there and give gratitude to that you're still alive. And I really thought about that one deeply. I was like, oh, that one's kind of interesting. So Leo, this week, it's kind of like one, being in gratitude for what you have in your life, but also like taking a break more, because I think that there's been so much stress that it's like, of course, love's not going the way you want to. Stress and love do not go well. That's why 6th house comes after 5th house. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be happy in order to deal with stress. But if you put stress before happiness, But this is a good card because it is also saying that people that want to cuddle, so if you're single and you're looking for a cuddle party, this is good. But if you're also in a relationship, it's about people that are willing to see you at where you're at emotionally right now and meet you there. So in your partnerships, this is about allowing your partner to communicate, like, I just need kind of some space to relax. Do you want to join me in this space? If you don't, you have to be okay with it alone. Maybe it's more nights with movies this week, or more nights where you just need to relax. And you don't need to like stress over everything, because that's causing a lot of discourse in the relationship life. The challenge is the truth. So it's almost like, I think that the challenge is like, there's so many truths out there, but also I think this is a trust thing. It's like there's a lot of trust of like, oh, this is like not going wrong, or this is not going right. There's so much going wrong. But your challenge is seeing that the truth is that there's so much good going on. And also I think that this is about, when it comes to truth, that the challenge is like, I don't know really what my truth is anymore. Or maybe you're afraid to talk about your truth, especially about with the 4 swords after that, like how you feel, how maybe you're just like not fully in your right energy. And maybe that might be your big breakthrough moment with love. Maybe there's single people out there where it's like, instead of being the all-star that you usually are and wanting to show up and be like how you are, like, hey, look, I'm a Leo, I got all this shit going on. It's like, actually, I'm not in the best place right now. So like, I'm kind of like really more in a chill place. Like, I really don't want to have to dress up and do the whole thing. So speaking from the truth is going to be difficult, but it's going to be your biggest breakthrough. And it's about truth. It's just about simple emotions of just like needing kind of like to be more raw, real, and more at a place of taking care of yourself better. And I think that actually that might turn on your partner more, or might turn on a single person more. Be like, hey, I'm down to Netflix and chill, or hey, I'm down to cuddle, So I don't think that this is that bad. And the last card that we got is Enchantment. Oh, Leo's been getting into some enchanting energy this week. And the whole entire thing is called the Enchantment Spell Oracle. They have this from February 18th to March 17th. All Pisces. Yeah. 8th house. So, what's interesting because, well, Leo's Pisces is 8th house, but this is so interesting because this is leading you to a place of a much more enchanting life where you don't have to feel like it's a burden anymore. Life. Like, I think that you've just been thinking life is a burden. Relationships are burdens. Your love life single is a burden. Like, because it's not enchanting, but that can't come from you just being honest about being where you're at, that you might not be right now at the king of the hill that you want to be or the queen of the hill, but you're at kind of much more of a, I'm kind of just taking time to kind of readjust and allowing relationships to come into that space is where you're going to find the most enchanting thing ever and actually lift you up. So just be real, just be honest from where you're at, that you're not at your highest capacity. And honestly, I think this is about shedding ego for Leos, like being honest and being like, hey, like, I know I'm great, but I'm not that great right now. Or that doesn't mean I'm not great or whatever, but it's like, hey, like, just like letting yourself be fully vulnerable. That's the truth. That's difficult to do for a Leo. Trust me. I know I'm double Leo. We have difficulty with just being truthful about our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, our you know, whatever. We want to put on a show 24/7. Literally, I'm putting on a show right now at fucking 1 in the morning, 1:20 in the morning on a Monday night. You know, like, you don't have to keep putting on a show. Yeah, somebody just said hate being vulnerable. I think that Leos, we actually like being vulnerable, but we're afraid to do it, right? We're afraid to do it. So it's like when you get over that hump, it fucking goes great. Because let's be honest, every king sure likes going on a red carpet, or queen too. But really, I think that, especially since we got enchantment, 8th house, Pisces. Why do you think all Leos have 8th house Pisces? Sex and all that is an enchanting place, but we like to do it in a Scorpio, a private place. So it's like, how do you get to that private place anyways? Vulnerability. Like, you don't do it out in the show, in the public. Like, I think, you always have that, secret chamber, like the bedroom is like, your own little Scorpio world. So I think it's important for you to realize that maybe instead of putting on the show and that's how you're attracting love in your relationships, you don't have to do that. Hope that helps. Little kids can be vulnerable. That's kind of interesting. I think little kids definitely can be vulnerable, but I also think that the ultimate of wisdom for anybody of any age is vulnerability. That's what Pisces is. Without vulnerability, there is no such thing as, I would say, enchanting love. Because then it's all facade. You know what I mean? It's all fake. I'm being vulnerable. I'm smoking my jewel right now. You know what I mean? Virgos. What do Virgos got going on? Virgo's got the Queen of Swords upright. You need to speak up, Virgo. But I also think that this is about being more clear in your understanding of what you want. Okay, Virgo. So, like, if you're single, it's like you're running around like, oh, yeah, like, this is what I want. But maybe you're like not clear of exactly specifically. You're almost still running around a little bit. Like, Queen of Swords knows exactly the direction, and that's it. Now, I know that can be kind of like fatalistic, like, oh my gosh, they don't have brown hair, or oh my gosh, my partner right now is not taking out the trash, or whatever. But I think that it's like, by speaking that, maybe it's like you got to call people out on their shit. But at the same time, you've also got to step forward into where it's kind of cold energy, I'll be honest. But I think that you're getting in situations, whether you're single right now and dating, or you're not dating and you're single, it's like, well, you got to step up and say something, and you got to actually like come about it. But in a relationship, you got to start calling things spade to spade and how you want things to go and which direction you want things to go, because it's almost like you're losing control a little bit. And this is not a control card. It's a mental space card about, hey, this is where I want things to go. It doesn't mean that we have to do it exactly that way, but at least I'm communicating, and this is where my mind says it wants it to go. And by doing that, it'll be much clearer. So communication, I think, is huge this week for Virgos, especially when it comes to being single, the communication in yourself and to somebody else. And if you're in a relationship, communication, like, hey, like, I might sound cold, but I'm not. I love you and everything, but this is like what needs to be done because I'm feeling like we're kind of losing our trajectory here. We're like, where are we going here? And it might come across cold and that might bring up a little conflict. But I think if you present, this is just a mental fact, this is just a communication aspect. This is not coming from a place of, you know, being like a royal cold bitch. You'll be all right. Your challenge is, you know, it's funny. I pulled truth again. So we're going to pull another one now because these are new cards. So that when I'm shuffling them, it's weird. But safe travel. Truth and safe travel. Okay. I think that this is an interesting challenge. That it's almost like, look at all the directions with the safe travel. Safe travel, is it of where you're going in your relationship life is because you're not speaking the truth. It's like, it's almost like you're in so many different directions and you're lost in a relationship, or you're lost in where your relationship life's going if you're single, because it's almost like you're not hammering down the truth and you're allowing kind of everybody to take you on a ride, or you're going in directions where you're lost yourself because you're not being clear. So I think that this is about clarity, because it's almost like things are kind of starting to get out of control. Now, not out of control like falling off a cliff, but the rear end on the car is starting to slide on ice. You know what I mean? So I think that it's important for you to realize, if you're single, you know, there is a better passage in your life by just saying your truth and being clear in the direction and in your partnerships. And it's not that big of a thing. One thing I always look at swords, as like little things. Like, it's like, you just need to just say this. You just need to be in this right state of mind. Like, it's not that crazy. You know what I mean? And we got this last card, your spiritual advice card, as the healing card. You got to heal things in yourself and you got to heal things in your partnership. So it's a great healing week by communicating and by speaking the truth and by understanding where things are going, because things are kind of getting a little funky. Okay. Like a partner, maybe you're dating right now and it's like, okay, they're doing this and they're doing that. And I gotta say this is kind of the direction I'm going, or nobody's coming through because you're not saying anything and you have no direction. So they're kind of like maybe using you, or they're not showing up because they're like, well, I don't know what they want, because maybe you're too timid to say something. So this is a big healing week for you to finally get to a place where you can feel much better about your relationships by just letting it all out, getting things back into some sort of kind of mental and emotional control of truth, and it'll all go in the right direction. So I actually think that Virgos, it's tiny stuff, not crazy stuff, not like, oh my gosh, da, 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 da. It might feel that way because guess what? You haven't been saying anything. The longer you don't say things, the longer that you stay guarded, the longer that you stay, you know, like kind of protective in a weird way. Oh my gosh, it becomes a little bit too much. You know what I mean? So, all right. We're doing a hard shuffle right now because we're halfway through the zodiac. We just did 6 signs and we have Libras next. And we're almost done. What's going on in this chat room? Virgos are guarded as fuck, somebody just said. I don't think all Virgos are. I think Virgos definitely are very open and very open to love, but maybe they're just hard to understand where things are going right now, because it's not that they're guarded. They just aren't very clear on communicating, and maybe we're all unclear on what Virgos want. So Virgo always gets like one of those signs where everybody like dogs on him. And I feel like I've seen some of the most beautiful, loving Virgo people I've ever met in my life, to be honest with you. So I think that like every sign, I really, you know, of course, everybody asks me, what's the sign you don't like? You know, and it's like, of course, I'm like, I don't like all the signs. There's one part I don't like, and I love all the signs. So I don't like pick out and go, oh, I can't deal with this person because of that sign. I like all signs. Somebody put, stop messing with Virgos, and then Earth Angels. They are Earth Angels. They are. You know, rank the signs. Leo 1, Leo 2, Leo 3, Leo 4, Leo 5, Leo 6, Leo 7, Leo 8, Leo 9, Leo 10, Leo 11, Leo 12. There you go. There you go. There you go. You just got all the signs for you. There you go. The rankings. All right. Libras. Libra's going to be needing this one. Okay. Because I, you know, when I do this show, I usually don't bring a lot of astrology in, but I will. Well, I do. Actually, I do. Actually, though, you know what? I'm going to own that one. Fucking, you know, most of the tarot people out there just say, okay, Libra, because they just, you know, okay, they know a little, but they don't know like the depth of the evolution of where the signs are going. That's what I do. I'm an astrologer. Libra's this week with the moon in Aries. Going to be squaring this Saturn Pluto. You're going to need some relationship advice this week. Okay, Libra? You got the judgment card up right. You got to make a big call finally. Okay? So, single Libras, what's the call? Do you want to be in a partnership? You're probably, like I know most Libras, got like 5 people you're talking to, 12 people that you're thinking about. Like, what's the call? But there is a call to a greater place. If you're also dating or you're in between. So if like you're like in between single but dating, but also was in a relationship and got back, or you're in this back and forth space, like you just need to like make this judgment call now so you can bring on a better life with relationships. Like you're at a pressuristic point of choice. And this pressuristic choice is trying to bring you choice to a better place. But by staying on the fence, which a total Libra energy does, judgment in Libra doesn't do well when it's on the fence, but it does amazing because what does Libra rule? Judgment itself. So, you know, I think that this is definitely a time in your life, Libra, to realize that there is this fatalistic choice coming in somebody you're dating, or if you're in a relationship. Where is this going for? Is this going to a higher place or is it going lower? And you've got to like really make it. So it's pretty intense for Libras right now. Very intense. Let's see here. What did we get from the challenge card here, man? These are all brand new cards. You got spiritual cleansing. Yeah, you are cleansing it, baby. Oh my gosh. This is the challenge though. How can you get rid of toxic vibes in partnerships, especially when, you know, you get this judgment card, which in this deck in Golden Tarot, it's connected to Jesus and kind of this divine energy. If the original tarot, especially like Rider Waite, you always get judgment. You get the angel with the bugle horn and the call, and then the people rising out of their coffins. Like this is the moment. It's like kind of like in Revelations in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like this is a big moment, and this is a huge challenge of you cleansing your soul and getting back into a spiritual place. You got a lot of toxic energy in relationships that you got to clear out. Doesn't mean, and I'm just going to say this to all Libras, like it doesn't mean that like you're fucked and there's no good relationship anywhere. I'm not saying that, but the ones that are not pulling you in the right direction right now and are not connected to this beautiful higher place that you got to make a judgment call on, and you're not doing that spiritual cleansing and it's toxic, you know, any of those that are around you romantically, especially, oh my gosh, you got to cut that shit this week, big time. Because what is this all leading to? These enchantment cards definitely have been kind of cool. I'll be honest with you. What is this one saying? You got the magic card. You got magic waiting for you. It's almost like you are not in your magic right now because of this. So make the call. I know it's hard being a Libra. I'm putting judgment down. But to be honest with you, if I were to give a gavel for a judge to any Libra and like have them like hit it as hard as they can, they'd love it. They'd love it. Because there's magic waiting for you when you do this. And especially there's this spiritual cleansing that's trying to happen that you're not letting happening by not making the call and by hanging on the fence too much. And when you have magic on your side, and this is magic with a K, I've always liked it's with a CK, but it's got a K at the end. You know, I'm just going to throw in some comedy here. I always liked, you know, K's better than C's, if that makes sense. Like, so anybody like if I had a buddy named Chris with a K, I always thought that was cool than a C when I was a kid, or when I dated a girl like a Krista or a Christy with a K, I always thought they were more exciting. So this is kind of like more exciting magic, if that makes sense. Like the real kind of like, whoa, this is really going to go where I want to go. So you have that waiting for you there. You know what I mean? And it's interesting on this card. What does it say? It says elder, oak. What the hell does this thing say? Ash and willow? Did you guys ever watch Willow, the movie? We're not going to talk about that. That was Val Kilmer, a really, really weird movie. But we are going to just say that there is this beautiful magic that is all coming together. And no, it's not like, because Libras can judge even me, like it's not a Willow situation. But and there's one thing about this whole enchantment card thing. Like I love it, but then there's also when it gets a little bit too much for me. Like elder, ash, blah blah blah. It's like, no, this could be like just like I just kind of am imagining like the magic of beauty of what you've always wanted, Libra. That's on the other side of making some hard calls. Got to make them though, Libra. It's time. No more time. Especially astrologically and where you guys are at emotionally and foundation-wise, and with Mars approaching Cancer, your 10th house, where are things going? How are you going to get to where you want to go if you don't make these calls? How? There's no way. There's no way anymore. Or the judgment of like, are you ready for a relationship? Really? Have you done all the work spiritual cleansing-wise there? And are you really ready for magic, or are you not in a good place? Are you using drugs? Are you using alcohol every day? Are you fucking around all the time and you're actually not doing your work? I just fucking called you all out. Just called you out. I wish we were in the studio. I'm going to add next week on the studio for when Craig does it in the studio and we go live. I'm going to add noises now when I call people out. Like, and then I'm going to throw up like a fucking cool ass thing. Like, I'm calling you out. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to add sound effects and like, pew, 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 pew. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to make this like, pew, 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 pew. And then I'm going to like do like, yeah, you got the luck of the It's going to be fun and interactive. I can't wait. I just fucking... Great ideas. Hold on, I gotta set a reminder to tell Craig about the awesome things that Deep Love Tarot we're gonna add sound effects wise and graphics wise at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Here's your reminder.
Thank you. All right, Scorpios, and you know what? Craig's a Scorpio, so what do we got going on with Scorpios? We got some Scorpios in the house. You guys all know I love Scorpios, right? Like. I know I didn't say pick all favorites and all that shit, but and I love Libras too. Fuck, I love everybody. But like me and Scorps, like we can go to some weird places that I can't go with a lot of other signs. You know what I mean? We got some Scorpio risings in the house. Yeah, Scorpios. Ooh, all right, Scorpio. What do we got? We got the Nine of Swords reversed. I think that this is just like you letting go of a fear that things are going to go bad in your relationships. That they're really not. These are warrantless fears. These are warrantless anxieties. But I also think that you are going to confront, whether you're single or you're dating or you're in a relationship right now, some energy that looks worse than it really is. Like, oh my gosh, this isn't working out. Or they said something to me. Or just like, oh my gosh, is the past going to repeat itself because there's a similar situation that is looking like it? Maybe you have a bad dream too, or maybe you hear a weird thing that you weren't expecting to in a relationship, or maybe you get a weird text, but maybe actually that text is taken out of context. This week is about removing fear. Let go of the fears, Scorpio, that are going on about partnership, relationship, love, and all that stuff, because they're probably taking way too much credit than they actually need to, and it needs to be dropped, okay? You got the time card. So I think the challenge is that things are taking time. So if you're in a new relationship and you're wanting to go somewhere, it's going to take a little bit more time than you thought. At the same time, that I think if you're in a relationship, that it's taking time to kind of get through some of these fears, or maybe you're processing old past patterns and old past fears, and it's taking time for you to get rid of them. And you're thinking, well, there's no way they're going to go away because I'm not seeing them change now. It's like, this is a week where I think Scorpios are going to be dealing with things that now are not what they want to deal with. But it's like, in time, it'll go exactly where you want to go. It's not as bad as you think it is too. It kind of reminds me of like when I was in high school, I had a girlfriend that lived like 30 minutes south of me, and I didn't have a car. I actually didn't get my driver's license until 18 because I played sports and I was in peer mediation. And I was captain of the water polo team. I didn't have time to go get that permit. I didn't have time to go get a license, literally. So I remember when I first met her and all these things, it was like, oh my gosh, like, when am I going to see her again? Like, oh man, this is going to take forever. I'm going to have to just talk to her on AOL Instant Messenger and shit. Fucking, I'm going to have to like, call her on her fucking phone and talk to her dad and shit. And like, fucking like, hey, what's going on? Like, yeah, things take time, but it was like not that much time. You know what I mean? Like, and she went to a different school and everything. So it was kind of like, I learned to like go, you know what, instead of always it being like right now, it was kind of nice to kind of have my space to deal with things that are my own, because I was freaking out over things that take time. And it's like, that's the challenge. It's like some things take time to, and especially, do you want a Hot Pocket or do you want fucking like a gourmet 5-star dinner? Do you want a Hot Pocket? Like you and I right now, we'll go to my microwave and we'll go knock on a bunch of doors and we'll go find a Hot Pocket and put it in. And I guarantee you, even the first bite you're going to eat it, it's just burn your tongue and it's not going to taste like the real thing. And then you're going to be thinking about some Chicago deep dish or some New York fucking pizza or fucking some other kind of pizza. And you're going to be like, yeah, the good shit takes some time for delivery. Well, what do you do in the middle from the delivery? Put on a movie, fucking do something else. You're a Scorpio. I don't know. Go fucking obsess over something, go fantasize about something. Go do something crazy. I don't know. All right. Where's this going? Luck. You're lucky when you allow the time to just happen, because it's all going to go the right direction. And I'm so happy that you did get this card, because this card is coming on the backside of that 9 of Swords reversed, which is warrantless fears. And by letting go of the fears, by letting go of this idea of things not going the way that you want to, because this could be a little depressing this week, especially with the time card as your challenge with a 9 of Swords reversed. Or like, it's like, don't get caught up into all these things of the way that you don't think it's going to, and they're taking the things that it wants. It's like, you have good luck by just letting that go, and it's not fear. And then watch, like something out of nowhere. Luck is going to just show up out of nowhere for you. So I think that is a great time, because I think this is making you as a Scorpio this week, not only if you're single or you're in a partnership or you're in between, you're at this place to where it's like you really are starting to realize that things are actually going the right direction. It's you and your own thoughts. It's you and your own impatience that is causing the issues that you're going to get rid of. And the good luck will come once you learn to do that. So that's pretty cool. I'm stoked. Scorpio's got it good. I think everybody's had it good. I haven't seen anybody that really. Oh, Libras. Sorry. Yeah, Libras. Okay, come on. Called you out. Oh man, I gotta get those graphics going on when I next week in the studio. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be so fun. And if you start seeing people jack that here on YouTube after hearing this, if you see people try to do that this week, you all know fucking who thought about that shit. And then that's when they'll be frauds. You know what I mean? Like, they're frauds. They're frauds. And I ain't even worried about it getting out there, because that'll expose frauds fucking faster than lightning right now. I just gave away the bomb. Coolest fucking idea for fucking tarot ever. And anybody who tries to go do that right away right now is a fucking fraud. Fraud. All right. What's up with the Sages? I know Sages have kind of had it gnarly. I will bring the astrology. So Libra's got it gnarly, and Sages. It's Gemini. It's a Mercury opposed Jupiter, square Neptune this week, with a moon in your 5th, squaring in your love house, squaring all that Saturn, Pluto, and South Node. So Sages are going to need this reading big time too. So I'm going to put some extra love into this reading and some extra guidance. All right, Sag. What's going on? Big stuff going on for Sages. You got the Fool card reversed. Okay. I got to call you out, Sag. Are you really not paying attention to what's going on? I'm just going to stop for 1 second. Like, let's Come on, Sag, it's me and you. I'm looking directly at camera now. Wake up. What's going on here? Like, are you being fooled? Are you being completely naive? Are you actually kind of like a lost puppy right now with relationship situations because you're like totally not in the space of the love and the excitement and the joy of the true fool? We are on the fool's journey this life in tarot. With the dog, with the beautiful world and skipping around and about to jump off and fall off a cliff, especially reversed. The worst part about this is about being a Sag with a fool reversed is that you believe you're not a fool maybe when you really are being one right now in a relationship. Like it's almost like you're believing the opposite, like you know everything. When the truth is like, you don't know shit. Like maybe you're not paying attention to shit. Maybe you're not really looking at what's going on right now. Is it really as exciting as you think it is? Are you really actually falling off a cliff though? Like, are we gonna have to get Sylvester Stallone and Cliffhanger here? You all know the opening scene of that. Fucking, he let the chick go and she died. You know what I mean? Like, are you on the opposite side of that with this partnership thing? Or if you're single right now, like, and you're in this place of whether you're dating or why isn't love coming my way? It's like, where are you at right now in your life? What are you doing right now? Are you really like paying attention to where things are driving in your life? How did you end up here? How did you end up here? That's, I think, the first question you should ask yourself this week in all relationship situations, whether you're single and with nobody, or you're in a relationship, or you're fucking dating. How did you end up here? We need to find the other cards, but that is the first. This is not with the astrology and with this calling you out. Boo, 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 boo. What the heck is going on? I'm fucking more interested in this shit than I have been in a minute here. And I read and do fucking 24 something videos a week on fucking highvibe.tv and on YouTube, do deep, all these videos. I'm fucking interested. I'm not saying I'm not interested in everybody else's readings, but I'm really interested for Sagittarius right now. Challenge, new moon. Oh. So afraid of really a new beginning. Afraid of letting cycles start fresh. New moons are all about, especially if it's a solar eclipse. I don't know if this decade has solar eclipse. I doubt it does. And you know what? Just for Sagittarius right now, just for Sagittarius, because, and you know what? You guys all can't get pissed if you're another sign and be like, oh, you didn't do this for me. Oh my God, you didn't do this for me. Well, they need this. I'm pulling out Black Moon astrology cards. Okay? I don't know if you guys all know what these cards are, but these are straight up for like people who know astrology. Like if you don't know astrology, don't even try to attempt to buy these cards. Straight up. If I see a tarot person on YouTube using these and they don't know astrology, don't fucking even listen to them. Like if they've never run a chart or they've never like really looked at a chart, oh my gosh. All right. I'm pulling this to help you with this challenge of why are you here right now, Sag? Why is there this fear of a new life? A new life about love. Okay? All right, Sag. All right. I am totally hooking you guys up. You got the moon card, soul, and you got it upright. That you subconsciously, and how funny, new moon card? You gotta fucking be kidding me. I'll even pull you a fucking third one right now for your challenge. The sun spirit. Oh my gosh, the sun and the moon and a new moon. You can't make this shit up. Okay? I'm gonna pull a fourth card because I don't even know what to do right now. I don't. We pulled the sun and the moon as a new moon, and I pulled a whole different fucking deck. I almost feel like I gotta pull another. We're pulling out Ganesha now. Gee, mini Christmas. I got to pull out Ganesha. I got to pull out the whole thing here. Yeah, you all didn't know, right? You all thought I didn't have no fucking cards and shit fucking at my studio. I don't, because they're all my house. You know what I mean? They're all my house. Ganesha's got to come out now. I could pull out somebody. You want me to pull out Alice in Wonderland? You want me to pull out Dreams of Gaia, Tarot? Fuck, man. What else you want me to pull out of my house? I got a bunch of other ones fucking here. I haven't even opened these. I got Magical Spellbound today. But you want me to pull out these? I'm going to hold these up for a second while I'm shuffling these. So your challenge is one, the full reverse, just completely. I'm going to be honest with you. My guys are just saying that you're like being fooled completely in love. Like completely almost like blind. Like, afraid of a new start because of a subconscious obsession. Because the challenge here is that you're not connected to your soul. It's almost like, I don't want to say you're soulless. Ooh, I know that might sound horrible, but you know, it's like you're losing your soul by these relationship situations you're in right now. And you did get this sun card, which is spirit. So soul and spirit, yeah, they're similar, but they're different. You know, like the soul definitely has past connections, right? Like karmic ties. But spirit is free. And spirit is free to go wherever it wants to go. And when you combine that, why do you think that a new moon is a new moon? It is the spirit aligning with the soul, allowing it to realign itself. And this is where Ganesha is going to help us out here. Because by Ganesha showing up, the remover of all obstacles, we are going to understand how you're going to get over this challenge. You know, like there is something that like feels very off. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be real. All right. I don't know why, but this is what my guides are trying to pull. Relaxation. You want this. You actually believe that this is happening in your relationship, but it's not. So you're like the most unrelaxed place because you're not free of your soul and you're afraid of where things could really go. Because this is where it will lead by making those choices. I just hooked you guys up. Okay, last card. I gotta go. It's late. Solitude. You're afraid of being alone. But in this solitude, you will find who you are again. I think that you've gotten very lost into some very weird relationship situations. And they're not truly aligned with your soul. Calling you out. And I wish I could do the beep, 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 but I'm going to like give you true empathy right now. And this lost energy is pulling you away and you're afraid to just, I think with the challenge of the relaxation of Ganesha too, and with solitude is where things are trying to lead you to a much more magical and better place. It's like, imagine life when you're in this place, opposed to the opposite of what you're in right now. You're almost not in solitude because you're fucking actually in this, like, I don't know why. It feels like a false sense of like yourself that's reflecting back at you. And you can, I don't know why that this card, it does have the eagle in it too, with the sun around it. It's like that you can't truly rise into your power unless you know how to be divinely in yourself. That you've almost like fully lost that because you're pulling it all out instead of in. And you're not getting in from what's outside of you either. That's some gnarly shit. I pulled a bunch of cards for Sag. I know I mean, I love Sagittarius a lot, but that's a lot. And I just hope Sagittarius, you know, full reverse too. Go look it up. If you want to just like say I'm just kind of trying to throw out some fucking bullshit, like I'm just real as fuck on here. So go look up the full reverse. Have fun reading that one. It's not the funnest card because you're not on the journey. That's the first card in all tarot. And if it's reversed, you're on the wrong journey. I hate to say it. Or don't take the wrong journey this week too. It's another way to look at it. But my guides are saying there's something that just feels not aligned into who you really are and pulling you into situations where they're not giving you back what you deserve, and almost like I almost feel like you're giving away too much. All right, Capricorns, we're clearing that energy out. We got the Emperor reversed. So I think that for Capricorns this week, you got to regain that. Emperor sounds like a card like, I got to be the Emperor. Oh, I know what I'm doing. But the Emperor is actually, compared to the Kings, higher. Okay. He's more wise. He's an emperor. He's not a king. He came up on his own. Kings get anointed by blood, right? Like emperor knows what they're doing. But with this reversed, it's like you're afraid to step into your own power of a relationship. You feel like you've lost power in a relationship. If you're single, you feel like you've lost your power to even have a relationship, or you're not feeling like you can have one, or you can't attract what you want. And these are the issues that you got to confront this week, that you got to step into your power again. And that's from within. And you've also got to show that in a relationship as well. And the Emperor is very kind. He's very gracious because he didn't get there by burning bridges. Trust me, no emperor got there by burning bridges, especially because it is an emperor. Because you got to have people behind you, and you got to have people there to honor you as an emperor. So, and usually emperors are put in place by people sometimes too, not by like the royal court or by the crown. But I will say that this week you do have to confront situations of your own insecurity of being able to have what you want in a relationship in general. That's if you're single, or in a relationship that you're in right now. Like, oh, it's not going the way kind of I want to. Well, I guess I just have to live with it that way. Like, what? Like, you got to actually step forward and like create that. And if it's not going to be created, you don't have to burn a bridge, but you have to kind of set that tone of like yourself, your own life right now. Challenge that you got this week is the shadow. You have a lot of shadow work going on. Oh my gosh, I love this card. Look at how fucking gnarly that shadow is. It's almost like your challenge is that you're stuck in your own pulling back. And you know what? I am going to bring up that there's an attachment, whether if you're even if you're dating, or even if you're single or in a partnership, there's this part of these darker forces within you that are choosing this kind of trying to empower yourself through these partnerships that are actually not what you even want. So maybe they're driven by money. Maybe it's driven by security. Maybe it's driven by insecurity. Like, oh, well, they like me and I don't look the way I like to look, or I don't want to be in a partnership because I can't trust my ex-baby's daddy, or I can't trust, my ex-husband or my ex-wife or whatever like that. So I'm just not going to have a relationship. Like there's a lot going on here with Capricorns and dealing with shadow work. That's like kind of gnarly and kind of gross, right? Like holding you back from the ultimate beautiful love this week, especially because you're not stepping into the power. You're almost letting the shadow devour your emperor within yourself. Woo! Your enchantment, magical outcome of all this and spiritual advice is inspiration. Inspiration comes from when you step into outside of shadow and you come into love that is inspiring, especially when you step into your power of your true sovereign self. So you got to step into that now, Capricorn. It's time. And it's time for you to find inspiration in your life and have partnerships that are inspiring to you. Or you need to get rid of maybe some shadow work, because I'll be honest, you might have a very inspiring partner right now, but maybe you're in your shadow. Maybe you're drinking a lot. Maybe you're holding yourself back a lot. Maybe you're single and you have great people that are showing up from you, but you don't feel confident. And more importantly, you know, it's like you're like in your own shadow of like, no, I can't, or I like to be alone, or I like to do this, or I want control. But then there's this other part where you might be also in partnerships where they are like you're in it because of a shadow situation, like money, greed, sex, anything, or insecurities. So a lot of things for you to do, but find what's inspiring to you, not what's just kind of holding the fort down of satisfaction to feel the way that you want to feel, even though it's not making you feel the way that you want to feel. So we only got 2 left and we're out of here. 2 left and we're out. 2 left. Thanks for being with me tonight, everybody. I was like, I can't let everyone go without this show. I've been doing it. I'm one of those people, when I start a show, I just do it. The hardest one is spiritual dance music, of course, because I need people to help me with that show. I can't just do it alone. And that show's hard. So that one, unfortunately, we haven't been able to do the last 2 weeks or the last month or the last, but we are going to do the new moon on Monday. So, and we got Aquarians and Pisces, and that's it. I just need a quick little break here. I gave Sages a lot there because Sages needed that bad. If you all know a Sag out there, maybe send them this video. And don't be hard on them either. They're going through a lot. I needed that one after all that shit with Sages. That fucked up. All right. Aquarians. Aquarius, you got the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So, you know, especially in Golden Tarot, it even is somebody who's holding on to something too much. I think that this week, Aquarius, your own way, the way that you see things in partnership, the own way that you see things as single, and how you want different relationships in your life, like, you got to be flexible now. Flexibility is kind of an issue right now. Like, oh God, we have this set, or I've set it. You got to look at, if you're in a partnership, Aquarius, you got to kind of be like, uh-oh, like, maybe I need to let go of how I'm seeing the way that I want things to look. If you're single, it's kind of like somebody's like, I want to take you to dinner. I want to take you out to a nice vegan restaurant. You're like, I'm not vegan. I ain't going to that shit. It's like, hey, be flexible here. Like, you can go fucking have your McDonald's every day. Like, but there's some great situation going on. Or maybe you're like, somebody's coming at you and you're like, gosh, they don't. I know some people who are like, they don't drive that car. They don't drive a Mercedes. So I ain't going on a date with them. It's like, what the fuck? Really? Shut the fuck up. There's things that you have to let go in your own egos, greedy kind of, this is what I need to have, especially with your own value systems, that definitely need to shift this week. And the challenge from that comes from boundaries that, you know, you've set boundaries on what it has to look like. And that's causing issues. So the boundaries need to be realigned. So think of Jurassic Park. Boundary lines are, you know, the gates or the big, you know, fences for, let's say, the raptors. Maybe the boundary lines for raptors need to go out a little bit more. Maybe they need to come in a little bit more because you get into too much space. In your case, I think that these boundaries need to be expanded. I think that you've kind of retreated yourself in so much about how things should be, and then people start to kind of get rubbed off the wrong way a little bit. So, but it also at the same time, and I'm going to bring up a whole different perspective here, is that if you're in a relationship and you're an Aquarius, like, is this a partnership that you even are really wanting? And have you set boundaries to where you're stuck in it? And it's not what you actually value. And you definitely want to be flexible and change things. I got to bring out all these different scenarios here. Your final spiritual advice card, your enchantment card, is the Strength card. That strength comes from not empowering yourself through your own perspective so much and through creating, your own line in the sand. But strength comes from connecting to all things within yourself through beauty and love, and through only connecting with what works for all parties, works for yourself, works for others, works for everything in the whole universe. That's where true strength comes from. And you have this amazing aspect by learning to let go, whether that's an actual relationship or whether that's holding you back from, if you're single, like how it should look, that you have to find the strength to go forward into things and try things differently. And that's what you do best. But how come you haven't been doing that lately? Responsibility. I don't know why I'm getting this as I'm shuffling for Pisces, the last one here, but Aquarius, responsibility is like the boundaries you set. Like, I have to do this, or I have to have this, or it has to look this way. So that could play in any scenario here, right? Like, it has to, I have to. We're married, I have to because I'm single and I can't have a person who drives a fucking Volvo or whatever. Volvo is actually the safest fucking rides from back in the day, from what I remember. But it don't matter. You have to set these new boundaries, which are challenging for you, about what you really want in your life. And if it's really working for you, or it's keeping you stuck, and that's either stuck in being single or stuck in a relationship that needs to maybe be changed, and to find the strength to do that. All right. Pisces, last one here. I really got to go. I love you all, but I got to go. All right. What do we got for Pisces here? And Pisces get all upset. Like, you look, I am not Russian. All right. Pisces, out of here. I don't do that. All right, Pisces. Well, you guys get the Judgment card reversed. I was just shuffling the crap out of that deck. I think that for Pisces, it's like, you don't need to make a big call this week. You don't need to define your whole relationship life this week. And I think at the same time, when it comes to if you're single, or even if in a relationship, pass any judgment on people. Like, let people be who they are. If somebody's doing something that maybe you're just kind of like frustrated about, you don't like, it's kind of like, you know what? Just let them do that. Whatever. Like, is it really that big a deal? This is where big deals are not big deals. Like, I know it's like that whole expression of don't sweat the small stuff, but there is this whole part of like, don't sweat the small stuff this week on your partner. In single, if somebody shows up late, like, don't judge them. Or if they go another direction, don't judge them, because guess what? The right judgment's going to come through in your life. But also at the same time, this card is saying, like, are you putting enough energy into kind of where you want things to go, or is it too loose? So there is kind of a two-way part street of this. So it's like, but still not throwing judgment on people. I think that's the number one thing, like, here, like being kind of like fatalistic is kind of like a pope. Like, you did this 20 million Hail Marys. Fucking like, what the fuck? Like, I just fucking slipped and fucking fell on the floor and dropped the water. Like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is as big a deal as you think it really is right now. But I think within yourself too, like, not judging yourself, being too harsh on yourself about how you are in partnerships. Like, if somebody's doing something to you, like, you don't need to self-judge, and you don't need to judge them. This is getting out of the judgment area completely and coming into your challenge, which is just like, okay, there's this truth. This truth popped up a lot today. But I think that what it's saying for you is that, like, your challenge is your judgments of what truth are. So, like, is it something that, like, you find is truth that you're judging about, but really, is it truth? Or is that just your own truth? Like, I mean, like, if somebody's doing something that you don't feel is in your judgment line, and that's your truth, like, maybe take a look and look around more at yourself. And maybe, what about things that you are doing that actually that you would judge others on? Like, so it's kind of like a weird kind of flip this week on Pisces of like, you being shown things, single or in a partnership or in between, kind of dating, trying to figure that out, of like, let go of a lot of the judgment, let go of a lot of what you identify as your truth, because that's a challenge right now. That the truth, you know, you don't have to let truth out by being judgmental either, but just by like, here's my truth, and I don't judge you, and we're cool. But like, what's going on? Like, I'm like, you know, but coming from, I think, like a really like pure state, opposed to kind of a fatalistic pope, like, hey, like, if you don't do this, it's over. If you aren't this way, blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, thank you for that. I really appreciate that, Evolution Fairy. I'll pull a card for you from the astrology deck for sending me that super chat. You got the 12th house escape. So you're definitely, it's kind of a weird card, because I think that it's important for you to take the moment and just really see what is not working in your life anymore, and not trying to escape it, but confront it completely and let it go, and let things out of your life that are not serving you anymore spiritually, and get back realigned with your soul. Because there's some things around you right now that almost make you want to like get out, but the only way to get out is by kind of confronting it within yourself, or whatever your subconscious stuff is. Back to Pisces. Your final card here is rebirth. So this is a rebirthing within yourself, and it's also a rebirthing and great for partnerships right now for you, by getting rid of maybe an old judgment and an old truth. Maybe there's a part of you that's been holding on to some sort of vendetta about somebody, or you've been holding on to how you always are with people, like, and kind of creating this kind of discourse of like, this is my truth and this is all it's going to be. And like, it's like, hello, like, let's rebirth things. I think that for Pisces is a great week to rebirth all relationships. Even I'm getting it from outside of love too, that this is a great time for Pisces to kind of reset the clock, let go of the judgment and the truth that you come from, and realize that other people are coming from other ways. So empathy is your number one thing to rebirth things. And by doing that, you will have the most beautiful partnership situations start to come about, and letting go. And that's the best part about being a Pisces, about letting go of those situations and those things. And because if you can get rid of this, not only are you getting rid of an old subconscious victim mentality, but you're getting rid of anything that is going to cause you to not feel like you're going to get the ultimate kind of call from God of a partnership. And you're going to have what real truth is, which is not defined, but truth is truth just because it completely comes to a place where it always brings you back to a place of a purity. And I think that purity is not defined by us. Purity is defined by a higher course, and not by our own egos, not by our own judgments of this world. I love you all very much. Thank you very much for being here. This is the last week of Future Life, the app and the network, futurelife.tv. So if you're on that, or if you've never been on that, don't join it. It's done. Everything's moving to highvibe.tv. The Android app's out. The Apple TV app is out. The iOS app should be out in like the next day. It was in review today with Apple, but it's Memorial Day. But don't sign up through the app, because highvibe.tv, there's more. You can actually access all the different plans, and more importantly, all the paid content and all that's there, and you can get on your computer. But the best part is you can just log into the app and then just stay logged in. And then you can go to the website and you have total control of your whole account. Whereas if you go through Apple, or if you go through Google, or you go through any of them, you got to go through their crap, and it's a bitch. We made it easy. Highvibe.tv, you go through your login, you go through your account info, and you're in control right there. I want to cancel now if you don't want to. We have a 7-day free trial on there. We're doing almost like, I don't want to not lie. So I don't know what the exact number is, but it's like, it's about 40 to 60 videos a week. And it's pretty incredible. And now the apps are coming out. And if you've been watching me, that's how to support me. Is by really supporting this whole team of light workers that have all come together to bring content like this out, but in a much more professional, much more, really enlightening from all forms. From now we got Rachel for mental health. We got Tara, of course. We got angel readers. We got intuitive readers. We got me with all my astrology. We got Tim Losi doing health astrology. We got the Peace Dealer on there doing all of his astrology. We've got a lot going on highvibe.tv. So check it out. We're really trying to create, we're not trying, we have created the spiritual network, media network. It's not out there with actual day-to-day live brand new content. We have live shows that are coming out through the apps and through on the website. It's already built. We just have to start doing it. So much awesome stuff. So that's where you can support me, highvibe.tv. Make sure that you join. You will not regret it. And you have control of your account on your own. There's a whole different system. Abby and I own the apps, own the network. I did not own Future Life. So I was just a content licensor. That was it. And that contract ended. And May 31st was when it all ends with content with them, even though that's a whole other story. I don't even go into it, but just we had to bring it back to a sovereign place to where the only people involved in an app and with the company and with everything is within light workers. That's it. So we have no company outside of us that we're dealing with that is in control. We are the ones that are giving you the control and the ability to comment and be part of this community and watch all these videos every day. And there's way over 60. I'll be honest with you. It might even be almost 100 videos a week now. I'm thinking about it in my head. So check it out, highvibe.tv. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you all later. Please spread this message, too, to all your friends, all the people. And if somebody could put down, I don't know how to do the whole Aries, Taurus, like with the numbers and all that stuff. Somebody always does it for me on there, and I pin them, and I wish I had their name right now. But I'm going to thank you next week. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you on my next Deep Tarot Live. Adios. Bye, everyone. Love you. Peace.